I just applied my Freestyle Libre 14-day continuous glucose monitor sensor, and this will probably be one of the last CGMs that I use for a while just because they are really expensive. But to make really good use of this last CGM, I want to take you guys along with me for the next 2 weeks where I will be showing you every single blood sugar reading that comes up on my CGM that is interesting. So based off of how well I'm eating, how many carbs versus no carbs, sugar versus no sugar, how much I'm exercising, how little I'm exercising, cheat meals, things like that. I want to show you guys everything. So the good, the bad, and the ugly. It's going to be a lot of fun. So let's get into it. So I went ahead and activated my sensor this morning, and it takes about 1 hour for it to actually start working. So I am going to wait until I believe 9:09 to do my first scan. And I woke up this morning at about 7 a.m., but I haven't eaten any breakfast because I wanted the monitor to capture what kind of my fasting number would be. So I'm going to wait to scan and also wait to eat until I can do that first fasting scan. And some of you may have noticed that I did put the sensor on my chest this time around. Abbott only approves it for the back of the arm, and I've had about probably 10 sensors in my lifetime. 8 of them have been on the back of my arm, but in terms of accuracy, it's kind of been hit or miss. So forums and different communities say that the chest is sometimes more accurate for them. Even the back of their thigh or on their stomach has been more accurate. So I'm gonna just try out on my chest this time around to see if it's better. Okay, so I will check back in for my first scan of the day. I just checked my fasting number, my first scan for this new sensor, and I am sitting right now at 85. How accurate that is, I don't know yet because I didn't cross-check it with a finger prick, but 85 seems a little bit low. I found that when I'm kind of at baseline, whether it's like a fasting number or whether it's been like 3 or 4 hours since my last meal and not much is happening with my blood sugar, it's pretty steady. I find that the CGM has kind of pretty consistently been 5 to 10 points under what my actual finger prick is. So I always keep that in mind. So I'm probably somewhere around 95. And now I'm going to eat my breakfast. I'm feeding my son breakfast right now, which is his usual applesauce, whole milk yogurt, nut butter, and flaxseed for a good balance of carbs, fat, and protein. And then for me, I'm just going to eat this Trader Joe's mini brie bite. I mean, it's super tiny, as you can see next to my face, really small. So I'm just going to eat this. And then I also have some leftover edamame that I had made actually for my kiddo, and he didn't want to eat it. So I'm just going to finish that. And that's going to be my breakfast. It's going to be really simple, easy, and small. And then I will check my blood sugar and see if anything interesting happens. My guess is that it's not really going to impact my blood sugar. So I will see you in a little bit. Laundry time. Laundry time. Oh! Whew. So today, after I ate my breakfast, I went ahead and started doing chores that I needed to do around the house. My dog, my sweet puppy dog here, got sick last night and threw up all over my bed and all over the carpet over here. So I cleaned up what I could last night and I ran the laundry. So this morning after my breakfast, I went ahead and put the sheets back on. I was sweating doing that, and then we're going away for the weekend. It's my nephew's first birthday. In Korean culture, it's called chores. So we are driving up to visit my sister. So I'm packing for that. So there was a lot of walking up and down the stairs. I'm running another load of laundry to get some clean clothes for tomorrow. So it's a lot of moving. I checked my blood sugar at the 1 hour mark after breakfast, and my blood sugar only went up a little bit. By the 2 hour mark, with all this moving and activity that I'm doing, it will probably come back down or stay the same. So I checked my blood sugar at the 1 hour mark after breakfast, and my blood sugar only went up a little bit. By the 2 hour mark, with all this moving and activity that I'm doing, it will probably come back down or stay the same. So I foresee no spikes for this morning, also because I ate very little carbs, as you guys saw. And my breakfast ended up changing just a little bit. So originally, the cheese and the edamame I had bought for him, but he didn't want it. But of course, when I decide I want to eat it for breakfast, that's when he decides he wants it. So he had probably half of the brie cheese, he had some of the edamame, and so then he didn't eat like half of his applesauce whole milk yogurt. Oh, whole milk yogurt mixture, so I finished that off. So rough carb count estimate, I'll just put up here. It wasn't a lot of carbs at all, so naturally my blood sugar is probably super steady, and with all of the moving around that I'm doing, also another reason that my blood sugar is probably steady. But anyway, I'll check at the 2-hour mark and I'll show you guys if anything interesting happens there. And as I suspected, at my 2-hour check post breakfast, my blood sugar just remained at 95, so no spike at all. And 95 is basically my baseline. Typically, that's kind of where my blood sugar stays consistently throughout the day in between meals. So breakfast was a success. So now I'm going to be feeding my kiddo lunch. I made this bean mixture. He loves beans, so I have these organic refried beans that I had left over from a meal that I made earlier this week. And so in order to kind of cut some of that sodium, I added some spinach and corn and avocado, and then topped that off with some cheese and just kind of melted it all together. So I'm going to feed him this, and then I'm going to put him down for his nap, and then I'm going to eat my lunch. I'll show you what I'm eating then. He killed it. He ate the entire thing. I'm so happy. He's not a big eater at all, and he's less than first percentile in weight, so he's very, very small and needs to eat a lot. So this made me really happy. I am sitting down for lunch now, and what I did was I made some avocado toast and a fried egg, if you can see that. So I'm gonna push my body just a little bit. So I have here a whole wheat sourdough sesame toast, and it's pretty big. I measured out the grams, and it is 58 grams of sourdough bread. If you guys haven't seen my best bread for pre-diabetes video, I'll link that above and down below. But sourdough bread was reasonable for my blood sugar, but that was only 28 grams of bread. This is 58, which is more than double. But I want to test it out with the avocado, and I also put butter on here, and with the egg, because that's a lot of fat and protein, to see if my body will do okay with a bigger slice of sourdough toast. In terms of carb count, we have 9 grams of carbs from the avocado. The egg technically has 0.6 grams of carbs, but I'm just going to round that up to 1 gram of carbs. The butter also is another 0.6 grams of carbs, but I'm rounding it up to 1. So that's 11 grams of carbs. The bread, I'm not sure because I got this at a local bakery, so I don't have nutrition facts for it. But if I want to guesstimate, I want to say maybe, I don't know, 30 grams of carbs, let's say 35 to be safe. So 35 plus 11 will be 46 grams of carbs that I am ingesting here. I checked my blood sugar and I'm sitting at 84 right now. So I'm curious to see what's going to happen here. Because my kiddo is napping, I'm also not going to be moving around as much after eating this. I will be like folding laundry and finishing packing for our trip, but I won't be like holding, 17 pounds on me walking around, so it's going to be less movement. So let's see what my blood sugar does here. All right, I'm going to eat this. I will check back in. Ooh, interesting. So I checked my blood sugar 1 hour after eating that sourdough avocado toast and the egg, and it was at 118. And then I checked it again at the 2-hour mark, and it was 118 again. But as you guys can see on the graph, my blood sugar went up much higher. It looks like it almost hit that 140 mark before coming back down. So now I know eating that much sourdough, even if it's a whole wheat, even if it's sourdough, which is fermented and is supposed to be better for your blood sugar, not great for me. I started at 84, 85 before I ate that meal. And again, I can't see the exact number, but it looks like it got mighty close to 140. So that is a big spike, which means that much bread is a no-no for me. So, okay, good to know. You live and you learn, and that's what it is. I am really craving something sweet though. I might pop some frozen passion fruit pieces into my mouth. And passion fruit has very little carbs, very little sugar. It is pretty much a very sour fruit. And I might go ahead and do that and eat that as kind of like my popsicle / candy. All right, so eventually my blood sugar did end up coming down after eating that sourdough avocado toast and the egg. And as I suspected, the passion fruit really did nothing to impact my blood sugar at all. I mean, I can barely even see where it made a dent on my graph. So there's that. And then what I'm gonna do now is I fed my kiddo a snack, and I'm just gonna finish off these Cheez-Its. There's not much left, just a couple here at the bottom. And please don't come at me saying, oh my gosh, you shouldn't be eating that if you have insulin resistance or pre-diabetes. I know, I already know these things. This is not a whole food. This is not a vegetable. This is not a healthy protein. I mean, this is processed food. And I know I technically should not be eating it. And I know that people are gonna have a lot of opinions about it. But as I've mentioned in my other videos, I'm really just trying out how I can eat more like normally without restricting too much and seeing if I can still manage and maintain my blood sugar. If I end up getting diabetes because I'm eating things like this in small portions, then so be it. But I really want to just figure out my own way and my own path to dealing with this. So that's why I'm doing these experiments and figuring out what I can do to pay attention to obviously my physical health, but also my mental health as well. So I'm going to eat this. Again, there's like, I don't know, 10 crackers left in here. And then I'll show you if it does anything to my blood sugar. So with the Cheez-Its, my blood sugar went up to 119, which is a little bit over a 20-point spike. So there's that. And for dinner, I'm gonna be making a salad. And I have these veggie burgers, black bean burgers from Trader Joe's. I really, really like these a lot. The ingredients are pretty clean. There are 22 grams of carbs in one burger, 5 grams of protein, 8 grams of fat. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stick this in the air fryer, and then I'm gonna make a salad using greens, tomatoes, avocado, feta cheese, and then I'm gonna do that in like an olive oil lemon dressing, and that's gonna be dinner. And then we'll see what happens with my blood sugar. All right, so my salad is ready over here. I made 2 of the veggie burgers because my son really likes these veggie burgers, so he and I are gonna be sharing this salad. So we are going to eat. So my dinner plans got derailed per usual. I only got to eat about 3 bites of that salad, and my little one, who I've made this salad before, the veggie burger before, and he didn't like it. But of course today, on the day when I wanted to eat it, he decided that he wanted to eat it also. So my 2 boys split the salad, and I ended up eating what I had prepared for my little one, which was this like Chinese curry beef patty, which was full of carbs. I scanned my sensor at the 1 hour mark after eating that patty, knowing like for sure it was gonna spike my blood sugar, and it was at 103. Hey, be careful, guys. I am moving around a lot after that meal. I'm cleaning up. I'm, doing more packing. I'm making sure we have everything ready for tomorrow. So I am moving around a lot. So I think that has a lot to do with it. But 103, I was actually really, really shocked that it was that low. And I'm going to check again periodically to see if it's going to start going up. But so far, we're good. We're okay. Whew. I feel like I dodged a bullet. Just finished a really, really intense HIIT workout. There were a lot of squats, lunges, a lot of jumping, a lot of cardio, and my blood sugar is dropping like crazy. I knew it was an intense workout, but it was only 20 minutes, so I didn't think much of it, and I feel totally fine. But as you guys can see here, my blood sugar is dropping like a fly. So let's see what happens as my body starts cooling down. I'm not gonna eat anything because I already brushed my teeth and it's 8:30 at this point. So I'm not gonna eat anything. But wow, that workout must have been way more intense than I thought, because it's really having an impact on my blood sugar. It's going to come back up when my blood sugar drops with exercise. It always does come back up without me eating anything. It's just a matter of how long it's going to take for that to happen. So I'm interested to see what's going to happen in the next 30 minutes, the next hour, and where my blood sugar kind of lands before I go to sleep. So it's the end of the night here. I showered after my very intense sweaty workout, and I scanned my sensor again, and it looks like I am up to 87, so my blood sugar is bouncing back. The interesting thing is, if you look here on the graph, the 68 69 glucose reading that I got right after my workout is completely erased from the graph. It just doesn't exist anymore. And something that I read about the Freestyle Libre 14-day sensor is that if the sensor picks up a reading that is an outlier, like very, very far from the other readings that the sensor is picking up, that it just kind of gets rid of it in terms of the graph. So that's something I don't like about the sensor. I want to know what all of my readings are. Just because it went down to 69 and then bounced back up really quickly doesn't mean it should be erased from the graph. But it is what it is. Again, my guess is that my blood sugar dropped really quickly because I was using so much energy, so much glucose to push me through my workout. And then my body, as a result, started releasing stored glucose to make up for that. And so my blood sugar quickly bounced back up. That was a pretty interesting outcome with the workout. I wasn't expecting to see a drop that low, but it actually does happen from time to time, now that I think about it, with past CGMs where my blood sugar does drop after an intense workout. So there you go. I'm ready to go to sleep now, and I just wanted to quickly put up a graph of the entire day so far and some of the significant ups and downs that we experienced throughout the day with my CGM. So the big spike in the afternoon was from that big slice of sourdough bread with the avocado and the egg. The slice of bread was just way too big for my body to process, and I wasn't really doing any type of movement after the fact. So the spike was quite high, almost up to 140 according to my graph. And then I had another spike over here. This was where I ate the 10 or so Cheez-Its. And then here was the significant dip in my blood sugar after my intense workout. And here now it has disappeared and I've leveled off to a normal baseline. So that's the summary for today. I will see you all tomorrow. It'll be a lot of sitting because we're going to be driving up to see my sister for my nephew's first birthday. The ride is going to be at least 6 hours. So 6 hours of sitting in the car and stopping by at like rest stops to eat whatever we can. So tomorrow's probably not going to be a great day for my blood sugar, but that's the point of these videos. I want to show you guys real life how I'm eating, how I'm managing, and what my blood sugar is doing when I feel like I'm doing the best that I can. So I will see you all tomorrow.